How you doing, comics fans? Today, taking a look at a small auction haul of original art. So, yeah, it was had a few kind of auction wins. I think in November, and gathered them all up, and yeah, just want to take a look at a few. First piece is Love and Rockets piece. I think it's from the second volume. Um, Nice Maggie Hopi focus page. But we got Maggie, we got Hopi, we got Frogmouth. Um, and so if you didn't know, early in the second volume, Hopi shows up, as a bartender, and she's got this eye patch, and Maggie's like, "Well, why do you have this? What happened to your eye?" And in this sequence, um, Hopi tells her exactly what happened. So it starts with Hopi going off when she sees Frogmouth come in and tell her to get out. Frogmouth apologetic. Um, at this point, Maggie doesn't know Frogmouth, and Hopi tells her about what happened. So Frogmouth gets into some brawl at the bar, smashed in the head with a bottle, and I guess some of the shards get into Hopi's eye right here, and so she's pissed. Doesn't like the girl. Um, and Maggie's kind of just joking with her, about the whole troublemaker thing. Um, but yeah, I think it's a great page, Hopi centered page. Um, not necessarily my favorite character, but I thought, a funny moment. Um, what's interesting about this is you see here there's some like blue line pencil, and it looks like um, Jaime had originally posed Hopi in his layout differently, with her grabbing Maggie's shoulder and kind of leaning probably forward and pointing at Frogmouth and screaming. Um, but he changed that up. Has her pointing here um, to get out. But yeah, this is an interesting artifact. I don't think I've seen much of Jaime's art with kind of this blue line in there. Um, yeah, I don't, and plus I think I don't know if this was like covered up or try to erase. I don't know. Um, but yeah, kind of good to see kind of the process. Um, and how he sometimes just changes things up. After he's already penciled and laid it out. So um, really happy to have this page. Uh, I don't think you can have too many pages of one of the greatest comics of all time. So yeah, uh, very happy with this one. Next page was a page of French from a French comic, and I showed off the book I think in one of the haul videos, but this is from Boy Willie, Dennis Ciré. Um, one of the early pages, yeah, page 3 um, from Boy Willie. Yeah, that book has like a lot of nudity in it, but this was kind of just an early page. Um, I loved it. I love the blacks. I love the second panel where the villain um, is out, and you got two of the characters standing above. Um, just a great composition there. Um, this female character uh, sympathizes with the villain, her maybe lover. Um, great kind of vintage auto. Yeah, just great page. and it went way too cheap. It was in a U.S. auction, even though I think it was an international auction. Um, and I think when you have that, there's a recipe for art to kind of slip through the cracks, and it went kind of way too cheap, so I picked it up. Next page is a JLA JSA Vice and Virtue page. I think Jeff Johns and someone else was the writer, Carlos Pacheco on art. And yeah, it's fantastic action, fantastic figure work from Pacheco. Rest in peace. Passed away recently. You got Shazam and Black Adam facing off. The story behind this is a few of the JLA and JSA become kind of taken over by some malevolent forces, turn kind of evil, like some deadly sins kind of deal, and they end up kind of showing, each showing a certain, deadly sin in their attitude. Yeah, I mean, Black Adam, Shazam's the evil one here. Power Girl and Hawkman. Yeah, I mean, just really look at the great expressions, great faces, great figures. This is just a amazing page of cartooning, and so I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the art even more, and I kind of had to pay a bit of a tax, um, because this was you know strong competition at this auction, but really happened to have this example. So last but not least, I think we discussed this on our auction talk, market talk, and yeah, I won this Watchmen page at Heritage. What felt like it slipped through the cracks. Fantastic deal for a Watchmen page. I thought I would never have a second Watchmen page with where the prices were going, and in this auction there was three pages, this being the last one, and there was not as much interest, and so yeah, is it the most interesting Watchmen page? No. Why? Because it's basically the same scene. We're kind of moving through the same scene in all three tiers, but it is an important part of the story. Speaks to the character of Dr. Manhattan. As we rotate through the landscape of Mars, Olympus Mons, uh, the despair of Lori. Yeah, it's a fantastic page from the pinnacle of comics. Watchmen. Is it the greatest comic ever? I don't know, but it's one of the greatest comics ever. And yeah, I mean, happy to have it. Thrilled to have a second page. So um, yeah, there we go. Last but not least, here is a anime cel, and so there was an anime cel auction at Heritage. They had a few pieces from many famous anime, a lot of the Studio Ghibli stuff, Akira, my eye was on trying to come out with a nice piece from Neon Genesis Evangelion. And yeah, I managed to grab this one. It was not cheap, um, but I felt like, hey, this is one of the nicest examples on there. Evangelion is my favorite anime of all time, as a lot of people can see from my avatar. And yeah, I mean, one of my main big commission subjects is Neon Genesis Evangelion, just because there's not going to be really any available art. And yeah, it's just a great image here of Unit 1 shining in the sun, um, painted background. Yeah, I'm not going to turn into some anime cell collector, not, of huge interest to me, but just to have one cell from my favorite um, anime of all time, I think I had to kind of go for it. And so, yeah, I got this great image. Um, Happy to have it. One and done, probably. So, yeah, that's the haul. Um, there's a few other pages that I wanted Heritage, but we'll save that for maybe when I do a review of the book. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a great 2023. Subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, thanks. Bye.